Hi guys, Rick Péwé for Jeepn F134 engine. Top of the deck, underneath the outlet of the housing, forward, so it's a reverse type of unit. It was for a PTO shaft that went.
Must be getting time.
Yeah. Yes, I am gonna check. Look at that, perfect. Hi guys, Rick Péwé for Jeepn. Wanted to show you the CJ-5. Now, how do you know it's the CJ-5? Well, it's got the CJ-5 grill, and it's an early one with these little, we don't know what to call them exactly, marker lights. Some people have different names for them. As the CJ-5 got older, these grow a lot larger. And you'll also know this is an early one, straight bumper. The steering is all the way under here. So if you look at the rest of it, okay, maybe the rest of it isn't here, but this is about a 55 or 56 CJ-5. They used the major design up until the mid 60s, and then they changed the grill a little bit. A few things went on, but let's take a look out this way. Here's the interesting thing. This is the F134 engine. And if you've ever seen this, you know it's a direct descendant of the Go Devil engine, but this is called the Hurricane. Notice the valve cover here. This is for the intake valves, and exhaust goes out this way. And if you ever wanted to look at the serial number for the block, you look behind the water pump, on top of the deck, underneath the outlet of the housing. In other words, you can't see it, right? So if any cop tries to tell you it's not there, it is.
That's cool.
This is totally the same as a flat fender or a CJ-3B as well. If the body wasn't here and you didn't have the grill,
What year is it?
average guy couldn't tell. This is about a 55 to 65.
59.
Actually, it doesn't have reverse shackles, so it's not a 55. But this is the same design that was used. Notice the pedals are both connected through a cross shaft. They both ride on that. Then the clutch comes back and then forward, so it's a reverse type of unit. The master cylinder is here. The pedal pushes directly into it. There's, watch this one. There it is. There's your brake. T90 transmission, Dana 18 transfer case. Here's your emergency brake. It's a drum, okay? And this is a display model. So that's why you're getting to look at this. Yeah, a well-done chassis. But there's more. You look at this rear end. It's a Dana 44 rear end. Dana 41s were used only in CJ-2As and maybe one CJ-3A, but very limited. Notice this here is for the drawbar. The strengthening unit is for this drawbar, which is this. And this is where you had all your implements that could be put on here. In fact, this hole was for a PTO shaft that went up to the transfer case. So that's the CJ-5. What's really cool is next to it, it's a CJ-2A. Look at this beauty. This has been restored. This is by Paul Berry. He does a lot of quality restorations. You take a look at the top. This is how the original tops were. If you can look, you just kind of flop over, and then on the rear, you have your footman loops, and the thing straps down to it. So that's all kind of fun. Here's more of that drawbar I was talking to you about. Here's where your ball's gonna go. But you'll also notice that there's no decal or emblem here where it said Willys 4-wheel drive. And you also notice it doesn't have that painted out. That's because this is an early CJ-2A. After the war, they took military Jeep parts and made the civilian Jeep. If you notice, this part here is the cutouts or depressions for the Pioneer tools on the World War II Jeeps. So the very early production bodies had this still on the body, but they had that drain added, they had the gas filler added, and then of course these brackets were for the soft top boats. So that's why it's an early. Now let's look inside. Here's the cool part. This is a 3 on the tree. It's still a T93 speed, but the very early production CJ-2As had the shifter on the column, which is why the floorboard is flat. Maybe a little bump there. Gotta have that. And you'll notice that everything else in here is pretty darn original. These brackets are for the soft top bows, which you can see back here. The straight parts go on the dash. The round parts go in that bracket outside. So we're going to go to the front and look at the other cool parts. You notice the windshield, not only does it fold down, but the center part folds up. This is a ventilated windshield that has the little brackets in here, so you actually got some air in there when you needed it. But again, you don't have any paint on there. And these are round, not square. So we have permission to open the hood. Just wonderful restoration. You notice a few modern things like modern hose clamps. That's so that they don't pop off. The original hose clamps were not that good. But overall, this is just like it was stock. If you can read over here on the body, you got a body tag and the original serial number. That shows it's a very early production, 1946. Yes, they did make these vehicles in 1945, CJ-3As, but this is an early 46 with L134, 60 horsepower, Go Devil engine. Just a real nice. Yes, I am good at check. Look at that, perfect. And notice how the radiator actually has a chain on the radiator cap. Is that cool? And that's factory stuff. Right. Now, if you come around to the front, you'll notice one final little thing. World War II Jeep for the blackout lights, but this is a marker light. That's what makes it a very early production CJ-2A. Last thing, who can tell us what this is? Look at this, full length behind the hinge and ends. I should actually let you guys think about that for the next video. Any old Jeeper will be able to tell you. And a lot of new ones will say, wow, I wish I had one of those. So there you have it, CJ-2A, very early production in the Crown booth.